What's going on, everybody? I'm your host, Ben Ballion, back with another episode of the Sports Pod. Today, I got parts 38 through 42 of the 82-part series. The Knicks went 3-1 in the week. I was sick. I could not record. I was coughing too much. But I also got my NFL Divisional Round week picks for the NFL. Let's get into all of that on the other side of the intro.
For three. Bang! Iguodala to Curry. Back to Iguodala. Up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with the rejection. That ball is out of here. Out of here.
Right, before I get into the episode, I want to give a special shout out to Johnny Hack for always listening. Thanks for the support. Getting right into the meat of the episode. Knicks win 3 out of 4 games. Starting it off Saturday night in Memphis, and you got the Knicks taking on Grizzlies without Ja Morant, without Desmond Bane, without Marcus Smart, without Derrick Rose. I don't even know if Jaren Jackson Jr. played in this one, but it doesn't matter. The Knicks get the win, 106-94, and Jaren Jackson Jr. did not play. This team, they're on the verge of tanking for the number 1 overall pick, and that lineup is going to be scary with a number 1 overall pick, because this draft class isn't as deep or as good as last year's draft class in any sense, but a number 1 overall pick is a number 1 overall pick, and if the Grizzlies don't like that, they could just trade it away, because this is a Grizzlies team that made a playoff run not last year, but 2 years ago. And injuries have been the only thing that's holding them back, that have held them back. And I guess they brought in Derrick Rose, who is always injured, which is kind of funny, because if he's always injured and that's one of your problems, I don't know why you would bring him in, but they did, and he seemed pretty energized. Over there, at least early in the season, I saw videos of him dancing pregame and stuff like that. But you got scores popping up on the screen right now. Oh, you guys want a full screen? There you go. But yeah, Knicks get a win, and we were losing this game at halftime. We were losing this game after the first quarter. How? We are clearly the better team. And Julius Randle said it after the Mavericks win. After the Mavericks loss. This was a bounce-back win for the Knicks. He said, we're not helping ourselves by getting into deficits early in the first quarter. And I have to agree with him. There's no way that them getting down so much so early, and not even a lot in this game, just letting the Grizzlies hang around, there's no way that's helping them. It's hurting them so much, because now they have to play catch-up every single game. In this game, which had blowout potential, and it could have let Anunoby rest. It could have let Randall get rest. It could have let Brunson get rest. But no, because they couldn't pull away early second quarter, early third quarter, let them sit the fourth. No, they had to play the fourth. Anunoby is averaging less than 5 minutes of rest in the past 3 games. And it's because we're letting bad teams hang around. Like with the Magic, we were way better than the Magic. The Magic shot awful from the free throw line in the first half. And then they ended up finishing better than us from the line. They were atrocious from the line in the first half. They turned it around in the second half. Had to have shot like 95%. But for the Knicks to finish worse than them, that was embarrassing. So many missed free throws down the stretch of that game, but we'll get to that in a couple minutes. Want to keep talking about the Knicks game, or the Memphis game right now. You got Deuce McBride with a career high of 19, which was originally reset just 2 days later at the Garden. He scored 19 in this one, had 20 in the game against the Magic. Both the games that Brunson was out, and those were the games where Deuce shined, which that's big because it shows that we do have somebody that can step up in the presence of our tempo setter and our maestro and the person who leads this team and the person who gets us into our offenses and gets us set up on the defensive end. We're nothing without Jalen, and if he goes down come playoff time, we're cooked. That's what I took away from this stretch of games that he missed, these 2 games. But that can change if we get a veteran wing player, a veteran point guard, like a Malcolm Brogdon that I've been mentioning, like a Jordan Clarkson, who I think can play the point guard a little bit, like a Bruce Brown. He was a net, and that'll be another Knick and net. Who's done that? You got Jason Kidd. I'm sure I'll think of other ones throughout the episode. When I think of it, I'm gonna say it. Yeah. So Bruce Brown is somebody the Knicks are looking at right now. Alec Burks is another one. I don't really want to bring him back to New York. People are saying the asking price for DeJounte Murray is going to be too high, and you don't need to pull the trigger if he's not even gonna fit really well in New York. But this one, Knicks win 106-94, get a win on the road last Saturday night, almost a week from today when I'm recording this. And probably the easiest win of these last 4 games that I'm going to recap. All right, next game, MLK Day, in a game that I was in the Garden for. Knicks fall to the Magic, 98-94. Haven't had to say that in a while. Or very much this year. Only the second time. Knicks are 8-2 this year. Threatening for the 3 and the 4 seed, just like they've been all season long. They're in the 5 or 6 seed right now, but they're only 3 games out of the 3 seed. So that just shows you how tight the East is this year. And I've said it a lot, but I'm going to continue to say it. Let me know in the comments down below who's going to be 1 through 5 in the East. So your number 1 team, and then through your number 5 team. If I don't see the Knicks in there, I'm just playing. The Knicks might not be in there. I think they will, but there's definitely a chance that they aren't. All right, Knicks fall to the Magic. Brunson out again. We see Randall with 15 points. McBride led the way with 20. He was the only person on the Knicks who had 20 points. Box scores popping up on the screen now. And that it was a tough game. We definitely could have won this game. And it just shows that on any given night, you can play bad and you're gonna lose a game. That's just how the NBA works. Like, we almost lost the game to the Wizards, who have 7 wins this year. We only won that game by 8 or 9 points, and it was not our best performance, despite Brunson having 40 and Randall having 21. And Dante having 19. Like, that game just... I don't even know what happened. It almost slipped away from us, honestly. Before this Magic game, it was really... We let them hang around all game. They were always within 5-6 points. The Knicks were leading for most of the game. And then with around 3 minutes to go in the 4th quarter, the Magic decided, hey, let's take a lead for once. Yeah, so Paolo Banchero goes out, knocks down a 3. Then the Knicks come down the court, get fouled. Do this like 2 or 3 times. Dante gets fouled this time. Goes to the line, misses the front end of the free throws. Why not? Just a missed free throw. Makes the second one. Knicks I think they get a stop on defense. Then Randall comes down the court, takes a contested shot at the end of the shot clock. Terrible offensive possession. Goes to the line. Misses both of them. No big deal. Just 3 missed free throws. And we're not even done. We're not done yet. 3 missed free throws down the stretch of this game. Magic come down the court. Get a bucket. We're down 3 points now. Dante comes down the court again. Takes a good shot. Almost punches on somebody. Almost dunks on someone's head. Really hard. But he's going to the line again. Does the same thing. Misses the front end. No big deal. Just 4 missed free throws down the stretch of the game. 4 missed free throws. We cannot be missing that many free throws. We saw it. It's been a theme of our season. We saw it on opening night against the Celtics. We should have won that game, but we couldn't knock down free throws. That's the bottom line. And we're not going to win games down the stretch of this season and into the postseason if we can't hit our free throws. It's such a big part of the game. And that's somewhere where that's an area where Mitchell Robinson struggles. So, just something to watch out for if Mitchell Robinson does end up coming back for the end of the season. This game, the offense was stagnant. And I noticed this against the Memphis game also, where Brunson didn't play. The offense just looked gross. It wasn't what I'm used to with Jalen. It wasn't the Knicks offense. It felt like we were running another team's set. And I didn't like it. And then Brunson got back playing the Rockets. Randall and Brunson have another 30-30 game. Randall passes the late Willis Reed. May he rest in peace. For I think it's 5th all time on that list now. He has 68 30-point games. But in this one, Randall leads the way with 31, Brunson with 30, OG with 15. The Garden crowd was electric. Box scores popping up on your screen now. And another really good team win for the Knicks. We've seen a lot of them recently, whether it's against Philly or against the Timberwolves, or against, let's see, we've had some good ones here. I want to get a good one. The Sixers, obviously. The Blazers. Yeah, the Blazers was a really good team win. All around, offense, defense, we killed the Blazers. We destroyed them. And that was a fun game to watch for sure. That almost felt like it was against the Indiana Pacers. No, it was against the Utah Jazz last year. It was like that game. Josh Hart's debut, Pride Night at the Garden, and the Knicks just killed them. They ran all over them. They won the game by like 20 points, and it was crazy. They were getting in fast break every possession, knocking down so many shots. Another great game to watch as a Knicks fan. But really, for the Rockets game here, I mean, the Knicks have been such a second half heavy team. It's not even funny. Like, I think the Knicks were down at this game in the half. They were down in the Wizards game at the half. They were down against the Grizzlies. They were down against the Bulls. They were down against I think they were ahead against the Magic. Let's see, against the Magic. They had what? 52 to 50. Yes, they were up 2 points against the Magic at the half. We we were down at the half of a lot of games. We've played a lot better in the second half of games so far, and I don't know if that helps us at all because, like I said earlier, Randall has said it also. We cannot be getting in deep holes at the start of games. And if we are, we're going to have to be playing catch up for a lot of playoff games. And we're going to have to play catch up and play our guys a ton of minutes. Brunson's going to be averaging 45 minutes in the playoffs. I don't that's what Tibbs, if that's what Tibbs has to do to bring an NBA Finals to New York, oh, do it. Risk his future. No, don't do that. We need Brunson, but I mean, we got to resign him first. We need NBA Finals is more important, and I'm sure Jalen Brunson would be willing to play all 48 minutes if it meant bringing an NBA Finals trophy to New York. That's one of the things I've always thought about. Like, what would New York do if the Knicks won an NBA championship? They haven't won one since the 70s. The parade would be crazy. You see the Warriors parade from a couple of years ago, and that was the end of their dynasty. Now this is New York. The New York Knicks. We're the biggest market in all of basketball. I mean, like, what would these are the greatest fans of the world. So, I mean, what would they do if the Knicks won a championship? It's honestly insane. The parade and everything would be insane. But, I mean, they got to get there first, and it's going to take a couple more moves at the deadline. Before we get to that point where we can be confident in going to the Eastern Conference Finals and making the trip to the NBA Finals. I think New York would be crazy if the Knicks just went to the finals. I wonder what that atmosphere would be like. Because that's still another place we haven't been since the late 90s. I guess 2000. 1999-2000 season. Latrell carried us there as an 8 seed. But yeah, the Knicks win that game 109 to 10. What? We win that one. Yeah, 109-94. That's what I was saying. And moved to 2-1 on this 4-game stretch. But we ended up getting to 3-1 with a victory against the 7-win Wizards. Calling the Warriors, they got Jordan Poole, the former Wizard, the former Warrior on that team. And they're bad. They're really bad. There's no way around it. Kyle Kuzma and Jordan Poole is just a weird combo. And I don't know what the Wizards are thinking for their future. Brunson, a 40-point performance. Randall only 21 points, but Dante had 19, so that makes sense. Box score is popping up on your screen right now. Last time in the episode, I'm gonna say that. We got all 4 games covered now. This was another one where it felt like we were gonna let the Wizards hang around, and then at the last second, they were gonna go out and take a lead. But we had our closer back last night, and we had our closer back against the Rockets. Jalen Brunson was back. Jalen closed out the deal on Villanova Alumni Night. 49 points, and he does it in the clutchest moments. And that's what the best part about Jalen is. He's a winner. He'll do anything to win the game. Josh Hart did not play in this one, but it was no problem because the rest of the guys had a lot of heart. OG Anunoby leaking out in transition. Randall was doing that early also, getting out some easy transition buckets. And yeah, I didn't think the Knicks were gonna win this game. Early second half, like 10 minutes to go in the third quarter, I thought we were gonna lose because of what the Wizards were doing, on offense and on defense. We were struggling a lot on both sides of the ball, and it made me think we weren't gonna win the game. But yeah, that's it for the Knicks. They go 3-1, beat the Wizards. Here beat the Wizards 113 to 109. Moved to 3-1 in the past week. But let's get to some NFL Divisional Weekend picks. All right, starting it off Saturday afternoon. Taking a trip down to snowy Maryland, I think. I think it's snowy in Maryland. So another snow game this playoffs. CJ Stroud and the Texans walk into M&T Bank Stadium and try to knock off the number 1 seeded Baltimore Ravens. And it's gonna happen. CJ Stroud. He doesn't know he's not supposed to be here. He doesn't know that nobody thought he was. He knows people didn't think he was gonna be successful, but he doesn't know that. Like, this is how the NFL. Like, this isn't supposed to how the NFL isn't supposed to work, and he's not supposed to win this game. But I think it's gonna happen, and the Texans are gonna be going to the AFC wildcard game for the first time in a lot of years. Do they have a Super Bowl? I don't think they get to the Super Bowl, but they're definitely gonna make it a close game. So the Texans are one of the teams that do not have a Super Bowl. So if the Texans knock off the Ravens and the Bills knock off the Chiefs, one of the teams from the AFC representing the AFC will not have a Super Bowl ring in their franchise's history. That's interesting to think about because there's a possibility of a team winning their first ring this season. But with CJ Stroud and the Texans, they've impressed all year. They're such a young team. They're going to be good for a lot of years to come. And I think they win this game and lose in the next one. The Ravens are going to be rusty. Lamar talked about it after the first couple weeks of the season where they started off slow. And he said he was rusty. He didn't play for the back half of last season. And then getting back out there, he was rusty. So I wonder if the same thing kind of thing happens this weekend. And Mark Andrews is not playing. People thought he was going to play. But he's still inactive for this one. All right, taking it over to the NFC side of Saturday night. You got the Green Bay Packers after knocking off the Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? Always finding a way to choke in the postseason. Going up to the Bay Area to face Brock Purdy, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, and Christian McCaffrey. And the San Francisco 49ers. I think this game is pretty self-explanatory. I'm taking the 49ers. Unlike the Ravens game, the Packers aren't nearly as good a team as the Texans are. Their wide receiving core, not as good. Their running back, Nico, who's the Texans running back? He's pretty good. But Aaron Jones has been the hottest in football, so the Packers honestly might have the edge. In the running back conversation, Defense, definitely the Texans. Packers do have Rashawn Gary, but it's not a one-man team. And then for the Niners, you know all their weapons. I've said them before. But then you even got Trent Williams on the offensive line. And just a ton of talent on that team. So yeah, I'm gonna take the Niners, and it's gonna be a pretty easy win for them. All right, you got Tampa Bay going to and playing in the second ever playoff game at Ford Field, and taking on the Detroit Lions, who are another young team. A lot of young teams this year. With Jared Goff and Aiden Hutchinson and Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs. They're good, and they're going to be really good in a couple of years. Once everybody's fully developed, if they can bring everybody back, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with in the NFC pretty soon here. And I think Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers' time is up in the postseason. It's going to be the Lions for me. I really like that roster, and I think they're going to the NFC Championship game. And if the Packers win, the Lions are gonna win. That's my thinking. But if the Niners win, then the Lions are done. Because the Niners have been able to beat good teams, but if the game's in Ford Field, like, I think that's a pretty big advantage for them. Their fans have been going crazy. And it shows that they're not playing as good of a team. Yeah, so I got the Lions in this one. And then last game of the week. In the game of the week, you got the Bills and the Chiefs at Highmark Stadium. And once again, the Bills fans are having to shovel out their stadium. Why not build a dome? You live in Buffalo. You always have games like this. But I think their new stadium's going to be a dome when they build that. Is that a real thing? I thought I saw that. I might have. But Bills taking on the Chiefs, and I think this is the Bills' chance to finally slay the dragon of the Chiefs that they haven't been able to. But I'm still riding with the Chiefs. I want them to get to the Super Bowl. I don't want them to, but I think they're going to. I think it's going to be a Chiefs-Niners championship from this point. So you got the Bills, the Lions, the Niners, and the Texans. All right, that's going to do it for this episode. I'm your host, Ben Valiant, and this was the Sports Pod.